Today we are going to be exposing probably the biggest fraud in Jujutsu Kaisen. And I understand you've heard the term fraud thrown around a lot, but let's go over and examine what a fraud actually is. Fraud is a noun, a person or thing intended to deceive others, typically by unjustifiably claiming or being credited with accomplishments or qualities. Usually, someone who deceives people, often to get money, by saying something that they are not. Hence, if somebody claims that they are one thing, and they are not. Now, the biggest fraud that I know that fits this description, all of Jujutsu Kaisen, who has a lot of fans who will claim that they are a lot bigger and badder than they actually are. If you're like-minded, you already know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm not sorry, but this is a long time coming. Kenji Hikari, you are on my watch list. Now you may be saying, but dude, how is Kenji Hikari any kind of fraud? He was stated to be able to fight with Yuta. And all of this gas comes from this stupid statement. When he gets worked up, he's stronger than I am, and Maki says it's not true. So people will wholeheartedly disregard Maki and go with Yuta's word because they don't understand who Yuta is as a person. But I'm not saying you should trust me because of my characterization of Yuta, which is the author's characterization. But chill, Okotsu, Kashimo is right. Gojo said he only wants help if he gets weaker than you or me. Depending on the circumstances, Sukuno's domain just got wrecked. Eureka and I would be effective against two Shikigami. This panel right here, as well as I'll drag out Okotsu or at least the third year. This is the trifecta that causes non-stop Hikari glaze. Now, Hikari has owned up to none of these. He has owned up to none of these feats whatsoever, and I'm going to be proving this right here and right now. So let's run Hikari through the gauntlet. The gauntlet that we're going to be running him through is Yuta Okotsu for round 1, Atsuya Kusakabe for round 2, Mahito for round 3, and Kashimo for round 4. So first things first, Kenji is not beating Okotsu. He has nowhere near as good as feats. He has nowhere near as good as showings. His curse technique or arsenal isn't nearly as good. But if he gets jackpot. Now, I don't like putting Hikari in versus battles for the same reason why whenever you put a Jujutsu Kaisen character up against another person, you never consider black flashes unless they're Yuji Itadori because they're stated to be luck. But let's assume Kenji Hikari gets the jackpot immediately. You are not going to tell me that he is going to be able to escape a Jacob's Ladder with Rika on his tail. Rika, of course, still being stated as the Queen of Curses, and even in the weakened state that Okotsu currently has them in, they're able to clash with the highest recorded curse energy output, as with Ryu Ishigori, which Yuta's even able to deflect these granite blasts with his bare hands. Hikari has nowhere near the same durability feats, nowhere near the same physical feats. The most he's done was bully Yuji Itadori. Which, let's highlight this, Hikari has not gotten a single knockout. He has had 3 fights, and none of them have been knockouts or even confirmed kills. He hasn't even taken a limb from another opponent. So needless to say, you can count physical strength. You can say that however the heck you want. But I don't have to speak for Yuta's showings against Sukuna, especially because Hikari was held up with Urame, who. Do we have to get into the piercing blood bit? Do we have to get into their performance against Choso? Do we have to get into their performance against injured grade 1s, matter of fact? In fact, this lines up perfectly, because we're going to lead into our next segue of somebody who Hikari can't beat. The strongest grade 1, Kusakabe. Furthermore, Kusakabe has already been stated and known as the strongest grade 1 sorcerer, which you're not going to tell me that Hikari is anything above grade 1. Which, coming from the Jujutsu Kaisen official fan book, Suda Special Grade 1 is a rank for those who are unaffiliated with Jujutsu High who hold the performance of a grade 1 sorcerer. Especially with his performance in stalling out Urame, we are not going to say Urame is special grade. That is dishonest. For the same reason Choso's considered special grade because he's a special case. Choso cannot fight nor beat the 4 special grades, which let's highlight that. Special grade is defined as somebody who's able to overthrow a country single-handedly. Which not only do we know that Hikari cannot do this on his own, especially with his curse technique being extremely unfit for it, we also know that again, with him not getting a single knockout, and the most he's ever done is making his opponent bleed, he doesn't really have a lot going for him. This isn't just to speak about him or his speed scaling, which people are going to tell me, oh, but he kept up with Kashimo. We're going to get to that soon. So we know by the author's words, Hikari is not special grade. He is not special grade level or special grade power. And to say Hikari is equal to Yuta means that Yuta is equal to Urame, which Urame is at least relative to Choso, which we all know that this isn't true by any circumstance. Now what you could say is, Choso can't beat Itadori. Choso admitted inferiority to Itadori in hand-to-hand, and Kenji Hikari whooped Itadori in hand-to-hand. Now, this is exactly where the problem lies. I'm going to bring up such video, and no hate to the creator, this is just a good example. Shout out to Restless Gambler right here. I claim nothing of his video. Alright, let's see why he thinks this. When it comes to physical stats, Hikari skills well above most of Yuji. Not only was he missing Yuji before he could finish his sentences, he was tanking his attacks and pummeling him with ease, while Mahito was trading blows with Yuji and Shibuya, who was weaker than his future counterpart. Consisting of this version of Yuji, he would be able to consistently evade idle transfiguration. Now, the only problem in this matchup is how Hikari will damage Mahito. Mahito would feel... Hang on. I just caught something. Roll that back. Okay, we're good so far. No. This is not a blitz. This is an off guard. As you can see. Listen, Itadori is actively trying to recruit Hikari onto his side. This is not what's happening. If Yuji was actively swinging or trying to engage Hikari rather than trying to be peaceful, we could definitely count this as some kind of blitz. But no, this cannot be counted as a blitz. Okay, good. Okay. Okay. Hikari can override his domain with his own. Mahito would be on mercy to his gear attack since his curse technique would have worked. Same would apply if Mahito attempted to use a point to domain. The effect of a point to domain would only affect an arm. Arm that Hikari can easily cut off and regenerate, in which again, Mahito is susceptible to his attacks. So with all this scaling in mind, Hikari versus Mahito. Now, there are a number of problems with this. First things first, he's treating Mahito as a fist fighter. First things first, just being faster than Mahito is not good enough to get out of idle transfiguration. For example, this is the same Aoi Todo, which, granted his Boogie Woogie was less of a problem because he doesn't have Vibra Slap. We can't ignore the numbers he was putting up against Hanami and Mahito alike. Not to mention, there are great arguments for Yuji being faster than this Mahito as well. Furthermore, that implies that Hikari doesn't fight the way he usually does, which, if we're taking both the characters in character,